Well, good morning everybody. I hope everybody is safe and sound. If you look at the bike, you know that there is a broken fork seal. I have just put a jugaad there because I'm just getting back home. But before that, I wanted to make two videos, and the first video is going to be about why I bought the Tiger, and especially the Tiger XR. And also the second part of the video is going to be a separate video. It is going to be about all the accessories that I have on the bike. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so the first part that I wanted to talk about was the Tiger, why I bought the Tiger XR, which was going to be a MotoVlog, and not typically going to be a vlog style. So it's a beautiful location where I am right now. I'm just gonna hop on the bike. Let's talk about why I bought it. This is more like the second generation Tigers that were released in India. The first was the Tiger 800 XC. There was just one variant of it. Then they released the XR, XRX, XC, X and XCA. Well, this is the XR, which is the base variant of it. And then they had the TFT version of it. And now we have the Tiger 900. Anyway, so why did I choose this old generation Tiger 800 over the other ones that are there in the market? And what are the other bikes that I had in the market that I could have gone for? Well, let's talk about the options that I had. Well, based on the budget that I could stretch for, the bikes that fit into my budget were the BMW 750 GS, the BMW 850 GS, and the BMW 900 XR. A little bit stretch could have gotten me the Multistrada 950 and nothing more than that. Well, if I had just shelled out half of what I wanted to buy, then probably I could have got the 390 Adventure, but that wasn't something that I was really looking for. But anyway, now that we've got the Tiger 800 with us, I just wanted to talk to you guys about, again, why I chose it. Bloody idiot, moron. So yeah, the 800 has been really an appealing bike for me, especially because I already own a Triumph. For those who don't know, I own a Triumph Street Triple 675, and I've done a lot of touring on that. And ever since that, I realized that I love the way a triple performs, but I just want to get something wherein I can have a better experience when I'm taking it for touring. The biggest challenge that I had was that the luggage was the biggest constraint for me, because I had to use bungee cords all over the bike, and the comfort was not as good as that you could expect from a Tiger. But I love the triple. The 675 Street Triple and the Tiger 800 share the same gearbox and the engine, except that this has a bigger bore, hence it's 800. The fuel mapping is different, the compression ratio is different, so this is more of a very easy-going bike, but whereas the other one is high compression, so it just loves to be revved. It loves to be on the higher revs. It's a whole different bike altogether, right? By no means I'm comparing that, but I just love the way a triple performs when compared to how a inline 4 would perform or a parallel twin would perform. So in the market, if you see, there are you have the Triumph, which have the inline 3 motors, and also the Yamaha MT-09. As a matter of fact, if I have to tell you guys, I was also considering buying an MT-09, which I saw, which I rode. I was blown away by the performance, but it's again a naked bike. Again, the blind spot, again the luggage becomes an issue for me, pillion comfort becomes an issue for me, and so I thought, let me hold that thought, let me hold that as an option, but let me keep that as an option, let me not really finalize on that. Now with the MT-09 staying there, the Street Triple RS was not something that I would probably go for, even though I could have probably sold the Street Triple 675 and then gone ahead with an RS. I thought, no, let me buy a Tiger. So I've been searching for a Tiger for about a year. 1 year ago, I was this close to getting a XCX, amazingly maintained bike. It was phenomenal, just loved it. But somehow the deal didn't go through. No regrets there. Then came an XCA, which again was quite intimidating. The XCA is much taller than this bike, has more electronics on it, and it just looks and feels big when compared to the XR. I have ridden the XRX and the XCX, so I kind of have an understanding of the differences between the bikes, but The XR and the XRX, for someone who's 5 feet 8 inches, I kind of felt more comfortable on the XR and the XRX rather than the XCX and the XCA. I don't know, just that it's got spoke wheels, bigger wheels, it's got 21-inch wheels, and the overall ergonomics of the bike was just too intimidating. And I realized that let me not jump directly into something that I'm not comfortable with just because I'm getting a good deal. Let me get something that I'm 100% okay with, because these bikes are not to be played with, right? They do come with their own risks. So I wanted to make sure that I'm 100% confident and comfortable with what I'm buying. The XCA and the XCX was ruled out. Then came the XR and the XRX. The 2018 models that we see in the market with the TFT display were, I don't know, I just didn't find I never came across somebody who was selling it. But there were many XRXs and very few XR. I believe this is the first XR that I came across for sale, but I did come across a lot of XRXs for sale. Now, a lot of bikes did have a couple of owners, a lot of kilometers. Didn't really appeal me. I waited it out for about a year, and then this fell into my radar. I generally not just look at the bike, I also make sure that the owner who has actually owned the bike is also a motorcycle enthusiast, and he just didn't buy it because he had money. Of course, people buy this bike because they have a lot of money, but I also wanted to make sure that the person who owned this bike actually knew about motorcycles and was as passionate as we are, so that they would have maintained it in a certain way. And the person who owned this motorcycle was a gem of a person, is a nice person, still in touch with him. So yeah, that kind of worked for me. The kilometers on this, the price that was put on this bike, and the accessories, everything altogether was just a really nice package. And I thought, yeah, let's just go for it. This felt like home to me. And I'm not looking at it in an emotional way, but truly it did feel like home to me. And I thought, yeah, let's pull the pin. This, I think, so is a very good deal, and I think so it is a pretty good deal, except that the fork seal has got busted right now some time ago. Now, all of this being said and done, this bike, the Tiger XR, does not come with cruise control, does not have riding modes, and it does not have the comfort seat, right? See, I have done the Ladakh circuit from Delhi all the way till Delhi again on my street triple. So I have no complaints about. I've done other rides as well, South India ride. So I have absolutely no the comfort seat is not a deal breaker at all for me. The riding modes, honestly speaking, I don't know how many times I would be using the riding modes. So that again wasn't a deal breaker for me. The cruise control, yeah, it's a fancy feature for European countries or in America, but in the Western world. But I don't think so I require cruise control. I don't know how many times I would be using cruise control ever in my rides, or have I ever felt that, okay, let's have cruise control, let's have cruise control. Kids are watching from this thing. So for me, cruise control, the comfort seat, the riding modes were not a deal breaker for me. But for me, the way the bike has been maintained or had been maintained, the parts that have been changed on regular basis, and what kind of a mentality the owner had as well. I mean, what was his purpose of riding and all of that, kind of was more important for me, even more than the price. I mean, I was ready to pay a little bit more extra if the bike was like really, really well maintained. So I believe that comes first. So if I have to quantify between the information that I have in hand versus the extra money that I'm going to pay, if they are justifiable, then yeah, I would probably pay the extra money. I have no regrets at all. Now that I'm getting roasted in traffic, I wanted to let you guys know that you need to keep a couple of things in mind if you are upgrading to a bigger bike. Not just the Tiger, it heats up a lot, and it shouldn't come as a surprise. An 800cc cylinder, that too in Indian environment, yeah, it's supposed to heat up. And bear in mind that if you're going to wear anything other than riding pants and jeans, you're going to feel that it's going to roast your thighs. Just a word of caution. But yeah, when I this bike, not just this bike, a Tiger, I've always wanted to own one, because it just checked all of the boxes that I was looking for. It's got a commanding posture. It's got more than enough power for you to ride around the world, if I have to tell you that. And the luggaging system is so convenient that I can detach, I can install and uninstall my panniers whenever I want to. I don't need to use bungee cords going forward, and it's got a 19-liter fuel tank. And the engine, man, come on. I mean, not just in India, there have been people who have owned the Tigers for such a long time, clocked, you know, thousands and thousands of kilometers, and they've always had, you know, good reviews about it, and they've been impressed with the way the bike has been performing. So based on that, I realized that it didn't matter to me whether I'm going to have another Triumph in my garage. I just wanted something that fits my requirement, and this exactly did. Again, the riding modes were not a deal breaker for me. The cruise control was not a deal breaker for me. The comfort seat, again, was not a deal breaker for me at all. For me, the way the bike has been maintained, and the way the bike has been maintained, and whether this bike is capable of doing whatever I wanted it to do, is exactly what I was looking for, and everything just checked my boxes in. And here we are with the Tiger 800. And keep in mind that this bike heats up a lot in traffic. It's supposed to do that, and it's heavy. I mean, when I say heavy, it is heavy, and it is a large motorcycle, both length and breadth. It's gonna be you're gonna get used to it. It's gonna take some time for you to get used to it. The power, it's okay, you can tame it, but the sheer size of the bike, to understand, see, right now I have all the three panniers the panniers and the top box with me. It's difficult for me to squeeze in inside traffic, or even try overtaking sometimes, because I need to be very, very careful, because one small miss and I can hit someone. I would definitely bump my panniers into somebody else now. And also the fact that this bike is quite tall. If you're coming from a smaller bike, you're gonna feel the height. I mean, it's gonna be a tall bike for you. It has its both pros and cons, yeah, but it is tall. You gotta get used to it. Don't try to be, I mean, the advice that I got from people was that don't get excited and try adventurous stuff with this bike. Try taking it easy first, ride it on the highways, get used to the bike first, and then try to see, you know, other stuff, like if you want to do mild off-roading, you want to switch off the traction and do some stuff. Just take it very, very easy, take it slow, because it's heavy. It's about 230 kilos, and on top of that you've got fuel. And also, to make it even worse, if you're gonna have panniers, and if you're gonna have the top box loaded with all the panniers loaded with you know, whatever things that you're carrying, it makes it even more heavier. So that's just a word of caution. But once you're on the go, right now that I'm stopping in traffic, I do feel the weight. Yeah, it is heavy. It's supposed to be heavy because it's about 240, 250 kilos. But once you start rolling, even now, even in like 15, 18, 20 kilometers an hour, you don't feel the weight at all, because that's how much of power this bike has, and that's how easy it is for it to carry or pull the weight that it has. So that is something that I was looking for. I wanted something that can take load, that can take me from one place to another, like 1,000 kilometers a day. No problem at all. And the engine shouldn't get stressed, because the Street Triple is a high compression engine, right? And that being said, it's gonna heat up a lot. It's gonna act up a little bit if you're gonna give it bad fuel. But this is more, you know, forgiving. You give it normal fuel, it's gonna say, okay, let's go. You're gonna, you know, drive it around bad roads, it's gonna enjoy that. You're gonna, you know, ride it for about 1,000 kilometers a day. It's gonna say, I love it, let's go for more. That is exactly what I was looking for. Now, yeah, if you're gonna buy a Tiger, or if you're looking forward to buy a Tiger, then just keep in mind that you need to get all the information that you need about the bike, where it has been ridden, where it has been maintained, how it has been maintained, what are the parts that has been changed, whether regular service was done or not, or just to understand how the riders how the previous owner's riding style was, and you know, just to get a perspective of how the bike has been, because you're shedding out a lot of money and buying something, so you can't just say, okay, I like the bike, it looks good, I'm gonna buy it. So yeah, I'll make a separate video on you know, how to buy, or the things to keep in mind when you're buying a used market, especially in the expensive segment, whether it could be an adventure tourer or a sports bike. Irrespective of that, there are a few generic checks that you can keep in mind that would make you know, confident before you get into the deal, right, or you purchase the motorcycle. Well, that is it for today, guys. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, do subscribe to my channel. Do follow me on Instagram. This is going to be Instagram/MadrasMotorHead. Make sure that you stay safe, sanitize yourself, and wear a mask. Now, next video I'll be talking about the accessories on this bike, the complete accessories. But for now, this is me signing off. Take care, ride safe, ride hard, and always remember, when life gives you problems, you twist the damn throttle.